Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bluford's Tax Preparation, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, Casa Samtonieta Indialapa, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, John Boutique Hotel and Co-work, Montzon Brewing Company, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners.
Hi. I am overwhelmed in the best possible way, thinking that September is around the corner. And I know what you're thinking. Some of you are not here, some of you are up north, and that's perfectly fine. Some of you start planning your return to Vallarta sometime in October, sometime in November, but the reality is that September, being our most challenging month, economically speaking, is also the month in which those of us that are here year round start getting our act together. Well, some of us never stop getting our act together. It's an ongoing process because we're in business year round. But this is the time of the year in which the city starts going, oh shit, October is around the corner and November is out there soon after. So it's time to be thinking about the fall. And that makes me all excited. Uh-oh, I took a look at the schedule for Guadalajara events this morning. And yes, it's time to start planning some outings. I've just realized something really sad. The next Lucha Libre is happening on the same day as a Met Opera broadcast. So I'm going to have to decide whether I want to be here cheering on my favorite luchadores or whether I want to be in Guadalajara uh, watching an opera that I've never watched before. But that's neither here nor there. This is exactly what was going through my mind as I looked at my face on my screen and I realized, okay, it's time to get started. So this is where I'm at. How are you this morning? Do let me know through your comments. What are you thinking about? Are you missing Puerto Vallarta? Are you starting to make plans to come back? Or maybe if you are here, do you have things that you're looking forward to in the next coming months? Um, I'm excited to hear it all. So, we're going to have a bunch of news today. We're going to have some announcements, some Guadalajara related stuff. As you can see, it's drawing me. It's pulling my strings that our capital city is. Let us get started. As usual, capital letter Q if you have something important to say, and capital letter N as in new if you're watching live for the first time, so we can give you a nice friendly welcome. Let's get going. And yes, this business of the parking meters is very much alive and will continue to be alive. Now we know that the Puerto Vallarta and Banderas Bay Coordinating Council has proposed the need for a comprehensive mobility plan to begin analyzing the project for installing parking meters in our city. And this is good. The local business community is not simply saying, yes, let's do it. The local business community wants to know exactly what we're getting ourselves into. This request was raised by business organizations at a meeting where the proposal to implement a system of devices that allow metered parking in public areas in some part of the city was presented. At the request of the council, it was agreed to begin working groups to receive feedback and proposals from the private sector, emphasizing that the proposal for a comprehensive mobility plan should be a tool that identifies areas of opportunity in the city and priority actions to address problems not only with parking, but also, oh, excuse me, with public transportation and bicycle use. So let me formally clear my throat and let me unpack this for a second. Give me 1 second. Okay, So this is how I'm reading this one, and I hope I'm reading it correctly. Traditionally, the city will realize, oh, there's a problem with buses, and they'll try to fix the bus problem. And then the city will go, oh, there's a problem with traffic, and they'll try to fix the traffic problem. And the same thing happens with revenue. The city has a problem with revenue, and we have a problem with parking. So let's fix that. But all these things, which have something to do with mobility, are not being contemplated as a whole. And they are very intricately connected. So for me, it is a really good thing that the business community is saying, hold on just a second. Let's look at the big picture and let's identify areas of opportunity before we green light this parking meter project. So I think it's good. You let me know what you think. Um, this next one, this is awkward. The Puerto Vallarta City Council formally notified Seapal, our water system people, of the repayment of a 33 million peso loan granted in December of 2024 in compliance with a council agreement. Although the original payment deadline expired on March 15, the loan has not been repaid today. The city's treasurer added that Seapal Vallarta plans to request a short-term loan of approximately 50 million pesos from the state Congress to settle both its internal debt and its debt to our city. This measure, he said, is within the limits established by the financial law. He also acknowledged that the loan requested in December 2024 was a response to a lack of funds to cover immediate obligations such as payroll and bonuses. He noted that the agency was in the red at the start of the current administration, which has complicated its response capacity. A little reminder, when our current mayor took over and Profe Michel had left, he had left Seapal Vallarta without any money. They didn't even have money to pay for the Christmas bonuses. So this needs to be addressed. Hopefully Seapal will pay the debt and we will continue forward in the best possible way. Now, here's more good news. The municipal traffic and road safety officers continue carrying out these operations to remove objects used to reserve spaces, parking spaces, speaking of, on public streets. This activity began yesterday at 10 a.m. in neighborhoods such as Emiliano Zapata, in the Centro Zone, and in Cinco de Diciembre. During that period, the patrols removed chairs, trash cans, and various other objects that residents and business owners placed to take over spaces that actually belong to all of us. So I am so happy to see that the city is doing this on an ongoing basis, not just a one-timer. And this does not affect us directly, but it's important to know, I suppose. The Puerto Vallarta and Banderas Bay Hotel Association announced a leadership change with the unanimous election of Abel Villa Sanchez. He is the general manager of Hotel Buenaventura as the new president of the board of directors. He replaces Alvaro Garciarse, who is the owner of the Sheraton Hotel, who had been the president of the association since 2016. It'll be interesting to see what Abel Villa Sanchez brings to the table in terms of how our hotels and their needs are represented here in Puerto Vallarta. And time flies when you have a lady president. In a matter of days, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum will present her first State of the Union address detailing the main progress and results of her first year at the helm of the federal government. This event is scheduled, as always, on September 1st, 2025, which is right around the corner. I will certainly be watching. And of course, as we reach September, certain plugs start becoming plugged again and certain switches go on. We start thinking of, oh, the year is almost over. What are the remaining official holidays? And we have three of them. One of them is on September 16, which is part of the Mexican independence celebration. Then the third Monday of November, in commemoration of Mexican Revolution Day, which is actually on November 20th. And of course, December the 25th is an official holiday in Mexico. And of course, September is the month in which we celebrate our independence, and I will be presenting Viva Mexico once again. This is my explainer presentation on everything that has to do with our independence, what we listen to, what are the stories, what is the history, the culture, and the legacy of our independence. And of course, even though I've done this in past years, I have to research and gladly will to bring this up to date because we are now living in a new period under a new president with new milestones and new goals. So it'll be a pleasure to revisit this presentation and bring it up to speed. Now, let's take a quick look at the weather forecast just to see what's going on out there. It is 29 degrees. Humidity is at 70%. Snarky Weatherman says there's still time to delay Hollow Knight. Silk Song at least one more time. This must have to do with a television series or a video game that I don't know. So that's neither here nor there. Our forecast for today, clear skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 46%. That went down. It used to be higher. A high of 32 and a low of 24. Then on tomorrow, on Friday, mostly clear skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 68%, a high of 31 and a low of 24. And finally, Saturday, mostly clear skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 82%, a high of 31 and a low of 24. Moving right along, let me clear my throat again. Yes, I did a lot of laughing yesterday. And I think we are back. Yes. I want to let you know that Banderas News has published a nice article praising the work carried out by the Cuale Spay and Neuter Clinic in Puerto Vallarta. And this article is actually part 2 of a previous article, which is referenced in this one. If you want to learn more about what the Cuale Spay and Neuter Clinic brings to the table and how they improve the quality of life of a bunch of kitties in our city, this is something you may want to read. And I am happy to announce that the event Feelgood Vallarta, which I'm co-producing along with community partner Stan Wagner, is now ready to accept applications. We've updated the website. We're still fixing some cosmetic things, but we are looking for 12 exhibitors to bring to the event their services as they relate to health, to wellness, to well-being. Each exhibitor will pay 700 pesos each to be able to participate in the event. We are also looking for speakers to present mini conferences during the event. Let's remember that the event will have 3 modalities. You will have the opportunity to visit the vendor booths or the exhibitor booths. You will have the opportunity to have one-on-one consultations with the booth of your choice. And we will have mini talks, mini presentations, mini seminars by a number of health professionals in the city. So we are now accepting applications for this event. All the information is available at feelgoodvallarta.com, and we will be starting to put publicity about this all over social media and whatnot. As an aside, and for the sake of transparency, 700 pesos each times 12 is about enough money to cover the rental of the space and to cover publicity costs, including a couple of banners that we're hoping to print. And I want you to know that while it's not a nonprofit, because we are not a nonprofit organization, it's also not a for-profit event. This is something in which both Stan and I are investing our time and energy for the sake of community. If all goes well, we'll end up with maybe a few hundred pesos to go out for tacos after the event. But I did want you to know that this is certainly not an event that is going to make us wealthy. The feel good part of doing the event is the reward here. So, hopefully, as soon as you start seeing more publicity about Feel Good Vallarta, which will happen before this week is over, you will help us spread the word about this event so that other people can come and check it out. Just as a general reminder, there's circus at La Isla on Sunday, the 24th at 5 p.m. I'm going to see what's playing on the movie theater just to see if I can do two birds in one stone. And again, if you were wondering what got my Guadalajara juices flowing, well, this certainly had something to do with it. Tennessee Williams is A Streetcar Named Desire, a contemporary masterpiece, or a masterpiece of contemporary theater, was reaffirmed as a classic at its premiere in Guadalajara at the Conjunto Santander de Artes Escénicas, where I usually go for music concerts. So it's not only about music or opera, it's also about theater. There's only one more show, and that happens today. So if it was up to me, I would be everywhere, and I would be in Guadalajara more frequently than not. Of course, looking at this had me looking at the updated season information for the Philharmonic, which is not out yet, but it also got me looking at the Santander schedule and all the upcoming opera broadcasts, which I love so much. And I'm so excited. And I'm excited about this afternoon. You know why? Because of this.
Few guitarists have reshaped the sound of modern jazz like Pat Metheny. For over 5 decades, he's blended warmth, innovation, and global influences into music that transcends genre. Discovered at just 19 by vibraphonist Gary Burton, Metheny's talent took him from Missouri's heartland to the world stage. His early albums for the legendary ECM label set a new standard for sound and storytelling. With longtime collaborator Lyle Mays, Metheny created music that's both intricate and instantly recognizable. From the driving pulse of Phase Dance to the haunting beauty of Last Train Home, his work speaks without words. This special presentation by music storyteller Paco Ojeda explores his evolution, his collaborations, and the stories behind his most iconic works. Perfect timing before his upcoming live concert in Guadalajara. Join us for an evening of music appreciation and discovery. Tickets, 300 pesos at the Joint's reception desk. Reserve early. Space is limited.
Oh, yes, and that happens this afternoon. I can't wait. As I had hoped, I decided to do Pat Metheny to benefit my friends that are coming with me to the concert. We're all going to the concert in Guadalajara together to see Metheny. And as I had hoped, doing the research for the presentation ended up deepening my awareness and appreciation of all of Pat Metheny's accomplishments. So if you're curious about this and you're in town this afternoon, join us for what is going to be a cinematic presentation. It's going to be awesome. So let's take a look at your comments now that we've gotten all this stuff out of the way. Lots of good mornings as always. Da, 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 da. Tim Buford, our favorite Canadian accountant, is in the house. I bet you're counting days for your arrival. If all goes well, I will have dinner tonight at one of your brother's restaurants. If all goes well. Let's see what else we have. Dog, it's always great to see you, whether it is here on the live broadcast or whenever you comment on my posts. I'm glad you are joining us this morning. Many, many more good mornings. Here is one from Logan. What? You'll have to ask permission. You'll have to ask permission from the beast. I'm sure he'll understand. He may be a beast, but he's a big softy underneath. I know the beast is one of the luchadores that always shows up at the Lucha Libre. But I don't know. We had started making a group effort to go to the Lucha Libre together. but Bellini in Guadalajara, opera. So I don't know. I need to have a conversation with Larcito to decide what's going to happen. Let's see. Let's see. Peter says, I like your t shirt. It looks good on you. This is a discovery. This is a hand me down shirt, I should say. A dear friend of mine gifted this to me, but it helped me discover this brand called 32 Degrees. And they have all these like sweat proof synthetic t-shirts that I thought would be really warm, but it's really great because it doesn't capture humidity like cotton. So I'm a convert. I know they have a website and I know they're available on Amazon. So I think I'll be doing some holiday shopping for myself in December. But thanks for the compliment, Peter. If anybody else is interested in the brand, I will include it in the show notes. Just write t-shirt or something in your comment. Let's see what else we have. Oh, yes, Laura. It's this business of parking spaces being reserved by people that think they can get away with it. It's a vice. It's a bad thing, and it happens all over the country. It's only going to get worse once the parking meters come and the city starts, cleaning up all that mess. Hopefully, it will be successful. Ah, I saw this. I saw this one, and I'm so happy to tackle it. This is from our Queen of Question. When you stay in Yelapa, I guess if you spend a few days, you would have to bring your own snacks, cocktails, spirits, etc. I would definitely support the community, but I guess there is no means of general mercado. Just wondering. Well, I have a pleasant surprise for you, Laura, and this will become apparent once we start looking at the walking tours, which will happen on Saturday. I need a day off tomorrow to gather my thoughts. But no, I mean, the only instance in which, okay, let me break this down. Boozy stuff. If you like to drink something particular, like a special kind of whiskey or that vintage wine that you love so much, that kind of stuff you definitely want to bring along with you. But soda, beer, and rum and generic booze, or not brand fancy booze, you can find that stuff in Yelapa without a problem. There are many convenience stores. Well, many would be like 4 or 3 or 4, which is about right for the city. You can actually do a lot of cooking in many places because places have their own kitchen and whatnot, or you can go out to eat. Now, that's food, that's booze. In terms of munchies, you can choose to bring specific munchies that you want to enjoy, but you don't have to. You can find just about everything you want. Now, let's have some expectations in check. Are you going to find fancy, schmancy gourmet dining in Yelapa? Maybe, maybe not. We found a Thai restaurant that was open for business, but we didn't feel the urge to go there. Just like when you go to San Sebastián del Oeste, I don't feel the urge to go to the fancy, schmancy restaurants there, just because that's not what I go to a small town for. So as long as you're happy with lovely Mexican food, you're going to be fine. Let's see what else. A new person. Everybody say hello to Timothy. Buenos dias, Paco. I'm retired in New York City and purchased a pre-construction condo in Puerto Vallarta with my spouse. So hope to live there by 2026 or early 2027. Timothy, welcome to the cluster. You will develop a lot of questions. You will find a lot of sources of information. I'm not going to tell you which to choose, but here at Coffee and Headlines, we go out of our way to focus our energy on English-speaking locals or people that are coming here to stay. So any question, no matter how silly or weird is welcome here. And I know you're going to have many. You're welcome to come back whenever you want and let us know more about your expectations. What's important here is to balance your expectations with the reality. For all I know, you're a Puerto Vallarta expert and you've been coming here for a long time, or maybe not. And this is going to be your first time to be here for a long time. One way or another, it's a very personal transition, and we're happy to lend a helping hand whenever possible through the content of all the members of the community. And that was my little welcome. Oh, thank you, Linda. I had no idea. 32-degree clothes. This is what I'm wearing. This is 32-degree cool, and there's 32-degree warm. And I'm like a little child. I had no idea. And since Betsy wants to know about it, I will include the link on the show notes today. And let's see what else. Mark loves cool 32 shirts. Well, these are new to me. I am excited. Yay. And I think we are at the end of your comments. Where is my, here it is. As always, I thank you for joining me this morning. I thank you for your support. I thank you for how beautifully you spread the word of everything we bring to the table. It is much, much appreciated. And of course, if you're in town and you want to enjoy a little time travel adventure through the music of Pat Metheny, you're welcome to join us at the Joint, 5 p.m. And if not, I'll see you here tomorrow morning for more coffee, more headlines, and more stories. Have a great day.